Hi everyone, Kim from Yesterday's Tomorrow's. Come join me while I do a shabby chic home decor project using this beautiful floral wooden tray that I purchased from All Paint Products. I will put links in the descriptions for all the products that I will be using. We're going to be doing some transfers, we're going to be doing some stamping, and so let's get the stamping done first. I am using the IOD stamp called Kindness Regards, and then I will be putting on the ink color called Spiced Cinnamon. So there we go. So I am inking the stamp up. Now, the tray, I did go ahead first and did two colors of Paint Couture's paint in Italian Ivory. So that's what we're putting this on top of. So that was two coats of Italian Ivory, and now we're putting the stamp on. Now, the stamp is just for the background. I don't want it to be the star of the show, so it's okay if I don't get the whole thing down because we really want the appliques on the tray to be the star of the show and the transfer. So this is going to be a shabby chic vintage inspired tray that I'm going to try to achieve today. All right, so now we're going to put the transfers down. These are redesigned with Prima transfer. You can just go check your local retailer in your area to purchase these. And I just want one just on the side. I don't want to cover up all the beautiful stamping that I just put on. So you just place it down and just take your transfer stick that you get in your transfers and rub it down and then just pull it up real slowly. You don't want to pull up like a Band-Aid because in case some of your transfer did not stick, you want to be able to put down the plastic and give it another rub and it should come right up. And then once you take it off, if your plastic comes up clean, then you know you did a great job putting down your transfer. There we go. Look, clean as a whistle. It's perfect. Now you want to do something, and it's a big fancy word. It's called burnishing. And you take your two fingers and you rub it all down. So when you do put your decoupage medium on the top of it to seal it, none of the top coat will go underneath and lift your transfer. Now, this is a color called Mulberry, and it's by Paint Couture. And if you look at the inside of the roses that I did put on there, they have a darker color inside in the middle. So I kind of want to do the same as the transfer roses. So I'm putting a little bit of a darker color inside of my roses, and there's a little bit of rosebuds off on the edges. So I'm going to put a little bit on there too. But this is just so the roses aren't one solid color. I want some definition in the color of the roses, just like you see that the roses on the tray are not one solid color. So once that's done, we're going to do the leaves in this color, Vintage Moss. It is such a beautiful color green. To me, it's a vintagey color green. I don't know if vintagey is a word, but it's word to me, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous green. If you are doing any shabby chic or some vintage items that you need to add a green to, this Vintage Moss is beautiful. And remember, Paint Couture paints have a top coat and primer mixed in with the paint, so that is a plus. That is a plus. It really helps. And this paint goes on like a dream. It's self-leveling, and the colors that they have are just absolutely beautiful. All right, so we're just putting the green on the leaves, as you can see right there. And then we are going to also add another color on top. And this is for the roses, and this is called French Rose. And that's what I'm putting on top of the roses and the little rosebuds on the side of the side of the tray. Now I'm also taking the French Rose and going over the middle of it where I put the mulberry paint, just to tone down the mulberry in there, just so it's not so such a sharp color. And I think it's looking really pretty with that. French Rose is a beautiful color, and it matches the transfer perfectly. All right, so I'm just making sure that I'm getting on the sides of the tray. Everywhere where you see a rose is where the French Rose paint is going. All right, so there we go. So once you do that, then I'm going to want to seal the whole tray. And I'm going to seal it with the Paint Couture's decoupage medium in shine. Now the shine is not a shine. It's more like a satin. So, and that I think will look real pretty on the tray. So there we go. I think the appliques on the side of the tray are matching the transfer just beautifully. All right, so now we just got to dry it before we put our top coat on there. And I see, ooh, wait a minute. I think the green will look pretty on the edges too. So sometimes when you're doing something, your piece speaks to you, and it's going to look a little different than what you thought, but it's going to look even better. I think by putting the green on there, it's just going to edge out the tray and tie all the colors into it. It's like framing the tray out, putting this green on there. There we go. So there's the side with the green and there's the side without. And I do think it looks a lot better with the green on there. It's like a framing of a picture, right? And when you frame a picture, it just looks so much prettier than without a frame. So let's put the vintage moss on there. And it only needs one coat, and that should be fine. And look how pretty that looks. All right, so now let's give it a quick dry. And then we are going to now add our top coat. There we go. The Decoupage Medium in Shine. Now remember I said it says shine, which sometimes you're hesitant and you think, oh, that's going to be shiny and glossy. It's not. It will definitely dry like a satin, which is so, so pretty. So don't get alarmed when you see that it says shine on there. All right, so you just need one thin coat of your Decoupage Medium because you want to seal the transfer so it doesn't lift. And that was the important thing about burnishing your transfer down, to make sure that it's totally down, that no top coat or Decoupage Medium, whatever you're sealing it with, will seep underneath, because that will absolutely make the transfer lift over time. Will not happen right away, but all of a sudden you'll see it lifting and you wonder why, and it's because it wasn't burnished down all the way. All right, so now let's dry it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I think it needs something else. So I'm going to add this really, really pretty color. And it's called Vintage Lace. And it's going to tie this whole thing together and really, really make it look vintagey and shabby chic. All right, so you got to make sure it's dry, though, before you add your paint or any color paint on it or anything else, because then it will not give it the true color. So there we go. It's Vintage Lace. It is so beautiful, and it's going to add an extra element of shine to this project. And it's a metallic, but it's just such an beautiful antique-y looking color. All right, now I'm not trying to cover up all the colors of the greens and the pinks. It's almost like a dry brush that I'm doing over it. Now I'm even going to go over the sides of it with the Vintage Lace, just so it all matches. But I think this color is tying it all together to give it the shabby chic vintage look that I am after. So just like I said, I'm not giving it full coverage. It's almost like a dry brush over it. Now, if you can see one side compared to the other side, see how the roses on the one side are really pink, and the other one with the Vintage Lace is just a little bit more muted, more of an aged vintage look, and that's the effect that I am after. All right, and that is it, and it's came out just perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. If you did, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you back on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and enjoy.